librarian here with another episode of the Book Report, sharing all of the book and library news you need to know about this month. So first of all, I hope you had an opportunity to come to all of our Black History Month programming across the system. We had some really great things, and if you didn't, there's videos on our social media pages. You can catch those later. In March coming up, we have a new thing called the Nonfiction Reading Throwdown, where if you read some books that are on a pre-selected list and then you social media about them using the hashtag Keep It Real UCPL, you can be entered to win some prizes. And each month there's a different theme. So the theme for March is March Madness. We are also starting a new book club called The Final Draft, and it's going to be at the Southern Range Brewery here in Monroe. And the first meeting is on March 28th. It's at 7 o'clock, and the book that we are reading is Ready Player One. So hope to see you there. Oh, only if you're 21 and over, we hope to see you there. All right, when coming up the rest of the system in March, we have an Organize Like a Pro program at Marsville just in time for all of your spring cleaning. It is on the 24th at 2 o'clock. And for children here in Monroe, we are celebrating Dr. Seuss and the Cat in the Hat birthday on March 2nd at 5 o'clock. We also, with our new year, we have a lot of new circulation policies that I think you'll be excited about because you can do a whole lot more stuff. So first of all, instead of just one time, you can renew things twice now if nobody else has them on hold. You can check out 7 DVDs per card. I know, don't everybody go at once. And you can place 5 items on hold, so you can place all those DVDs on hold before you get there. If you are a superhero, if you are a superhero, which, I mean, everybody should be a superhero, it is a $5 fee now instead of the $3, but you can check out 10 DVDs if you're a superhero. You can check out 50 items at a time, and you can place 10 items on hold, so it's kind of worth it. And for ebooks, if you're an ebook or e-audio listener, you can check out 7 items and place 5 items on hold, so everybody gets more things. And then also for the new adult fiction and nonfiction books, you can now check those out for 14 days. So that'll help with the holds list. You'll get your books faster. All right, and then our big announcement, our big spring tea is coming up for the Friends of the Library, and it features author Kim Wright, who is local to Charlotte, and she wrote The Canterbury Sisters and recently Last Ride to Graceland. The tea is going to be on April 5th at 2 o'clock at Rolling Hills Country Club. Tickets are $30, and if you want to purchase tickets, you can call 704-283-8657. All right, so that's all the announcements we have. Let's move on to some books. All right, first of all, we have the Second Mrs Hockaday by Susan Rivers. When Major Griffith Hockaday is called to the front lines of the Civil War, his new bride is left to care for her husband's 300-acre farm and infant son. Placidia, a mere teenager herself, living far from her family and completely unprepared to run a farm or raise a child, must endure the darkest days of the war on her own. By the time Major Hockaday returns 2 years later, Placidia is bound for jail, accused of having borne a child in his absence and murdering it. What really transpired in the 2 years he was away? I don't know. This one is inspired by a true incident, so there's something weird for history. This saga conjures the era with uncanny immediacy. Amid the desperation of wartime, Placidia sees the social order of her southern homeland unravel as her views on race and family are transformed. A love story, a story of racial divide, and a story of the South as it fell in the war, the Second Mrs Hockaday reveals how that generation and the next began to see their world anew. So this one got a star review from Booklist, and a fun fact is that the author, Susan Rivers, lives in upstate South Carolina. Okay, next we have a mystery thriller, Out of Bounds by Val McDermott, which is a riveting cold case novel featuring Detective Karen Peary. When a teenage joyrider crashes a stolen car and ends up in a coma, a routine DNA test reveals a connection to an unsolved murder from 22 years before. Finding the answer to the cold case should be straightforward, but it's as twisted as the DNA helix itself. Meanwhile, Karen finds herself irresistibly drawn to another mystery that she has no business investigating, a mystery that has its roots in a terrorist bombing 2 decades ago. And again, she finds that nothing is as it seems. An enthralling, twisty read, Out of Bounds reaffirms Val McDermid's place as one of the most dependable professionals in the mystery and thriller business. It got a star review from Booklist, and it was on the Scottish Book Trust 30 Best Books of 2016. All right, up next is one of my favorites, 7 Minutes in Heaven by Eloisa James. I'm really glad that they're publishing these in hardcovers and not just mass market paperbacks, because like I said, it's one of my favorites. In this one, witty and elusive Eugenia Snow has all society begging for one of her premier governesses, except the powerful Edward Reeve, who burst into her office with his arrogant demands. No question that Eugenia enjoys crossing wits with the brilliant inventor, but Ward wants far more than a governess. He wants Eugenia, and he'll stop at nothing to have her, including kidnapping. Dun, dun, dun. Will Eugenia lose her heart in the most reckless gamble of her life, or will she discover the sweetest pleasure she's ever known? Spoiler alert, I bet she does. All it will take is 7 minutes. So this one got a star review from Booklist and Kirkus, and of course myself. And if you like historical romance with emotional depth, you'll like this one. All right, up next we have The Gilded, or just Gilded Cage. It's not The Gilded Cage, just Gilded Cage by Vic James. A darkly fantastical debut set in modern England where magically gifted aristocrats rule and commoners are doomed to serve. Not all are free, not all are equal, and not all will be saved. The world belongs to the equals, aristocrats with magical gifts, and all commoners must serve them for 10 years. But behind the gates of England's grandest estate lies a power that can break the world. Abby is a servant to England's most powerful family, but her spirit is free. So when she falls for one of their noble-born sons, Abby faces a terrible choice. Uncovering the family secrets might win her liberty, but will her heart pay the price? Abby's brother, Luke, is enslaved in a brutal factory town. Far from his family and cruelly oppressed, he makes friends whose ideals could cost him everything. Now Luke has discovered that there may be a power even greater than magic, revolution. And an aristocrat is a shadow in the glittering world of the equals, with mysterious powers no one else understands. But will he liberate or destroy? This one got a star review from Publishers Weekly, Library Journal, and the Washington Post listed it as one of the best science fiction and fantasy books to read in February, and it sounds really good. I can't wait to start it. All right, next is The Dark Flood Rises by Margaret Drabble. Francesca Stubbs has an extremely full life. A highly regarded expert on housing for the elderly who is herself getting on in age. She drives restlessly around England, which is her last love, and she wants to see it all before she dies. Amid the professional conferences that dominate her schedule, she fits in visits to old friends, brings home cooked dinners to her ailing ex-husband, texts her son, who is grieving over the shocking death of his girlfriend, and drops in on her daughter, a quirky young woman who lives in a floodplain in the West Country. Fran cannot help but think of her mortality, but she is not ready to settle yet with the cat upon her knee. She still prizes her frisson of autonomy, her belief in herself as a dynamic individual doing meaningful work in the world. The Dark Flood Rises moves between Fran's interconnected group of family and friends in England and a seemingly idyllic expat community in the Canary Islands. In both places, disaster looms. In Britain, the flood tides are rising, and in the Canaries, there is always the potential for a seismic event. As well, migrants are fleeing an increasingly war-torn Middle East. Not sure how that fits in, but I'm sure it does somehow. Though The Dark Flood Rises delivers the pleasures of a traditional novel, it is clearly situated in the precarious present. Margaret Drabble's latest enthralls, entertains, and asks existential questions in equal measure. So it got a star review from Kirkus, Library Journal, and Publishers Weekly. All right, up next is my current read of the moment, A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. It is the third and final book in the Shades of Magic series after A Darker Shade of Magic and A Gathering of Shadows. So in this one, London's fall and kingdoms rise while darkness sweeps the Maresh Empire, and the fraught balance of magic blossoms into dangerous territory while heroes struggle. Like I said, this is a direct sequel to A Gathering of Shadows and the final book in the Shades of Magic epic fantasy series, and A Conjuring of Light sees the newly minted New York Times bestselling author V.E. Schwab reach a thrilling conclusion concerning the fate of beloved protagonists and old foes. So like I said, this is what I'm currently reading. It didn't get any star reviews from anybody, except probably myself, although if people die that I don't want to die, I won't give it. I won't like it. But anyway, we'll check back next month and I'll tell you what I think. All right, next is American Street by Ibi Zoboi. On the far corner of American Street and Joy Road, Fabiola Toussaint thought she would finally find in Belleville a good life. But after they leave Port-au-Prince, Haiti, Fabiola's mother is detained by U.S. immigration, leaving Fabiola to navigate her loud American cousins, Chantal, Donna, and Princess, the grittiness of Detroit's West Side, a new school, and a surprising romance all on her own. Just as she finds her footing in this strange new world, a dangerous proposition presents itself, and Fabiola soon realizes that freedom comes at a cost. Trapped at the crossroads of an impossible choice, will she pay the price for an American dream? In her stunning debut, Ibi Zoboi draws on her own experience as a young Haitian immigrant, infusing this lyrical exploration of America with magical realism and Vodou culture. Unflinching yet filled with joy, American Street is an evocative and powerful coming-of-age story. So this one got a star review from Publishers Weekly, Booklist, School Library Journal, and Kirkus, and it's our lone young adult entry for today. Although Conjuring of Light, this series is a very good crossover. All right. And then next, our last one is our lone nonfiction entry today. Ageproof, Living Longer Without Running Out of Money or Breaking a Hip by Jean Chatzky and Michael Roizen, MD. All the money in the world doesn't mean a thing if we can't get out of bed. And the healthiest body in the world won't stay that way if we're frazzled about 5 figures worth of debt. Today's show financial expert Jean Chatzky and the Cleveland Clinic's Chief Wellness Officer, Dr. Michael Roizen, explain the vital connection between health and wealth, giving readers all the tactics, strategies, and know-how to live longer, healthier, more lucrative lives. The same principles that allow us to achieve a better body will allow us the same for our investment portfolio. For instance, physical and financial stability comes down to the same equation. Inflow versus outflow. Do we burn more calories than we ingest? Likewise, are we making more money than we spend? The authors detail scientific ways to improve our behavior so that the answers tilt in the reader's favor. They also offer ways to beat the system by automating how we do things and limiting, maybe that's what it is, yes, our decisions in the face of too much food or too much debt. Chatzky and Roizen provide a plan for both financial independence and biological strength with action steps to get you there. All right, that's all the books that we have to talk about today, but if you want to see what we're reading throughout the month, you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It's all at UCPLNC. And I think that's it. So until next time, keep reading, Union County.